All right. Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Take a seat. We're getting organized here, getting the simulcasting going. We got Boyd doing the video producing and wrangling cats. And the cats today are me, Laureen Yandrup, the CEO and founder of CCO, and Laurie Woods, CPC. And I don't know, what's your official title these days, Laurie? You keep adding new jobs to your list.
Yeah, I know.
Choose something good. Choose something good.
I was a social media magician, but now I don't know what I am.
That works. Social media magician, and you're an ambassador on the help desk.
That's right. Help desk, the club hubs.
Yep, and a lot of the topics tonight relate to kind of popular help desk questions that have come in, so I thought it would be good to grab Laurie. She was voluntold. You're doing Live with Laureen today. Alicia had a little scare, had to go to the ER because she was dehydrated, but she's much better now, so she would have been with us tonight. So everyone kind of scrambles and hides from me on Thursday. I'm like, who wants to be with me? Well, Laurie can't say that she's not available because she does the Facebook all the time. So
I know, right? Nowhere to hide.
But she wanted to. So we're in Facebook. Are you seeing the video okay, Laurie?
No, I'm not.
I'm not seeing it at all.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, what's going on?
5 different times, so we're going to start it again. We're okay on YouTube. That's going okay, just FYI. And it should be going now, I hope. Let's try that again. Refresh that page.
That's what I'm doing. Refresh.
And interesting. I don't know why it's not going out.
I just had a pop-up. I clicked on it.
Did you?
Number 15.
Maybe because I'm in the business manager. Let's try this one. Are you guys seeing it?
No.
I thought I was on it, but I guess I'm on an image.
I'm not sure why I'm not going out. Kibitz for a little bit while I figure this out. I'm just going to stop it and try to re-authenticate here.
So why don't we, since it's streaming out to YouTube and not Facebook, trying to think what topics come up for our followers on YouTube that they seem to want to know. I know a lot of them want to know how to get their certification for CPC. That's the most popular one. We don't get too much trouble with YouTube, right, Laurie?
No, not a whole lot.
That's not a big help desk issue. Facebook's pretty smooth too. It's more, I think, people just wanting advice on the best course to take or what the next credential should be. So what we're trying to do is several Facebook Live events. Wednesday, Chandra does Did You Know segments. And on Thursdays, we've been doing this Live with Laureen segment, and we're trying to simulcast it to our different channels, so kind of killing many birds with one stone. And so Boyd's trying to set it up to send the same video stream out to YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and then we save the recordings, and we get them fully transcribed with all the handouts and information, and we put that in our club so that anyone who missed it could watch the recording and get access to the transcription. So the Facebook and YouTube ones are a courtesy. They're a freebie just so you could kind of get to know us and ask us questions and, not have to be charged for it, but the club members get the premium HD quality video and the handouts, and eventually we get all of this approved for CEU credit. So come join us over in the club. Maybe I'll show that while Boyd is getting things set up. If you go to cco.us, up on the top is our green menu line, and we've got an item for the CCO club, and it's join the club or log into the club. So if you are not a member, you just click on join, and you can read all about it, before you join, of course. And this is a very long info page because there's a lot that we're including in the club. So here's a little video that we did. It's about 2 minutes and 53 seconds. It gives you a very high-level overview. goes into the key things that are included. You get access to Find a Code, access to all of your courses and review blitzes. Most of our products are good for anywhere between 6 months to a year, depending on which plan you bought at the time. If you become a club member and any of your previous purchases have expired, then you get access to all of them indefinitely. As long as you stay in good standing as a club member, then you'll get access to your whole library of content, which is pretty cool. So you could have bought a Blitz 2 years ago. As long as you have the receipt and can prove that you did, then we can set you up in, once you're a club member, we'll restore all of your items. And that's a lot of what Lori does on the help desk. She helps restore people's access. So she has a lot of friends.
Yes, I do.
I think that's a really great feature. Instant access to all past, present, and future monthly Q&A webinars. So we do those for free. We've been doing them for many years, thanks to Boyd suggesting it long ago. And the replays are they have really good answer sheets. I think that's one of their claim to fame. Like, we don't just do a slide with the answers. We have like a full document kind of like of how we did our research and came up with the answer, and we try and show you how and where we went to get the answer. So it's more like teaching people how to fish versus just giving them the fish. And then fully transcribed, and our transcriptions I think are great because they even have the slide pasted on the top of the page with the transcript below it, so you really feel like you can almost read it and feel like you're there without even having to listen to it, and that makes it nice because PDFs are searchable. So our support calls we do for our students, we do them currently we're doing them on Tuesday nights, and we switch every other with the type of audience. So this past Tuesday, Chandra did a class focused on ICD-10 and risk adjustment student support, and all of that again is recorded, and all the handouts and answer sheets are made available to our club members. All of these Facebook events, same thing. Another club benefit is you get the Find a Code Essential Plan with our CCO shared notes. So that's kind of cool, and I can show you an example of that. We're kind of doing it reverse. Normally we show the CCO goodies at the end, but since Boyd is setting us up a little bit, we'll flip it to the beginning. Let me sign in. And I'll give you an example. B20 is an example of an ICD-10 code in Find a Code. And Find a Code is an encoder. If you're not familiar with that, it's basically an electronic coding manual, CPT, ICD, HCPCS, plus many other databases that have to do with those codes. So this is the ICD-10 database. B20 is for HIV, and it's got a lot of notes on its own. But if you scroll down, what's really great about Find a Code, it's very user-friendly. You just expand these menu items or you collapse them based on what you want to know. So in this case, the orange bar, My Notes, every single Find a Code customer gets access to this. But when you're part of an organization and have purchased Find a Code through an organization like CCO, you get this shared notes section. So Chandra happened to put this note in. She did some research, looked it up, gave you a URL. So now any CCO Find a Code customer can see her notes. And we're adding more every day to this. So that's this note. And then let me show you an example of a CPT note. I'm very excited about this.
Chandra is just full of notes.
I know.
They're going to get so much value out of just her notes alone.
Exactly.
With all the credentials she has, the knowledge, it's going to be awesome.
So here's the CPT note, and what you'll notice here, so exciting, little bat, little icon. So watch what happens when I click it. I'm so glad there wasn't a bug and it didn't work. That would have been very anticlimactic. But as you can see, what we did is one of the assistants came in, one of the interns came in, and where I underlined in my book, they underlined here. So this is matching my CPT manual. So now you know exactly what to highlight, exactly what Laureen underlined. So ICD-10 will be more of Chandra's work, and CPT will be more of my work. But the wonderful folks at Find a Code did this for us, and this is an exclusive feature just for our CCO Find a Code customers. So if you're not in the club and you want access to the Batcave notes, this is one way to get it without having to buy any courses from us. Batcave access is included in our Blitz, CPC Blitz package, and some of our, and club members get it. That's it. So everybody else, well, you have to be a club member to get Find a Code anyway. So those are the two places, but this is one way of getting it. We have other ways. But so that's another feature of the club. Access to the Batcave we just talked about. The Batcave is basically our bubble, highlight, annotate technique system, and we've made videos on it, and there's, I don't know, about 20 plus videos, and we put it in one area, and we call it the Batcave just for fun. And you can go in, and I think Lori probably, I want my Batcave access, I want my Batcave access. So I think
Oh, yeah.
that's about 80% of your tickets now, right?
Pretty much. That and 2017 updates. That's been a big one, too.
So, and it's, you know, tis the season, it's the time of year that we're in, and one of the things, you know, AMA was not crazy about showing the print CPT manual on camera the way we were, so we respected their wishes and we took it down, and it, you know, obviously upset a lot of the students. It was never intended to be a main part of the CPC Blitz. It was just a technique that people were supposed to do prior to watching the video, and then, you know, I helped them out and gave them access to all my notes, and then it was like being on crack. They had to have it, you know. So we have come up with an alternative to where you can get my notes but not see the CPT manual. So, and it's a lot of work. It was and we're not done. We still have 4 more sections to go, but it's taken about 10 minutes per page to recreate the notes so you can copy them into your manual. But at any rate, that's another bonus of being in the club. You can get support, plug in with us, ask questions, uncoding questions, and people are definitely taking advantage of that. And today it was so nice that a fellow club member answered another club member's question before we could even get to it, and it was spot on, and we just gave them a thumbs up. So you can at least know that the subject matter experts at CCO vetted it too, and so that was really nice. Where, you know, a lot of discussion boards out there, there's lots of coding discussion boards, but a lot of them aren't monitored. You know, there's no one that has a, you know, subject matter expertise really checking it. So with us, we are checking every single question. And Lori,
yes, we are. And I will alert you if you're not answering it.
Yes. And that's, Lori just got a new project that she's managing. Congratulations, Lori. And she's managing the CCO clubs and hubs. So the club is our main product that we're talking about here, but our hubs are our student support hubs. So every single course, every single blitz, even our practice exams have their own support hub. And Lori's double checking and seeing if there's any activity there that we've missed. We all get notifications, but sometimes things squeak by and she'll tap us on the shoulder like, no one answered this one, got to answer it. So, and just helping people with the, you know, general, you know, navigation.
Can I give you some updates?
Sure.
Some reasons it just doesn't want to operate today. So it's going to YouTube fine. I guess we'll just have to rebroadcast this to Facebook because I've tried on 2 different computers now to get it going. So something might be weird with what I was testing that previous platform out today. And
okay.
Maybe Facebook is giving me a bad IP address or something like that.
Okay.
But everything seems like it's going out. But so I don't know why it's not showing up on the page.
Put a message up on Facebook where we are on YouTube.
Yeah, I can do that.
People are looking for us.
I just keep refreshing, but it's not going.
Okay, so I'll keep going with this, and then we'll just let our Facebook fans know that we're broadcasting on YouTube today. Okay, so I left off with sharing cases. So this is another feature where people can share redacted cases with us to have our help in coding them. We do like people to let us know what they think the code is before, we're not going to start doing people's, work. But if you say, I think it's this, but I'm struggling because I kind of thought it was that, we can help with the reasoning process and at least share what we think. And, because sometimes coding is not always black and white. Sometimes it's, there's some gray areas and you just have to know what you feel comfortable defending. And lots and lots and lots of CEU opportunities. We've got 3 to 4 recordings, webinars being done every week. They range from 60 minutes to 2 hours, fully recorded by our wonderful Boyd, video producer extraordinaire, and they're fully transcribed. Then those transcriptions are reviewed and CEU questions are written. We submit that to the AAPC to get approved for CEUs, and then we put that all in the club. And so you can watch the full video replay, get the transcripts, handouts, take a quiz, and earn between 1 and 2 CEUs in one little session. There's a lot. We have a year's worth of Q&A webinars, a year's worth of student support calls. The Did You Knows and the Live with Laureens are a little bit newer. Then we share things like the CPT update webinar, our ICD-10 update webinar. That's part of what we're offering to the club members now. We do charge for that, so we initially will charge for people that want it when it's really hot, but then a month or 2 later, then we share it on the club at no additional charge. And we're also partnering. I can't share the names right now because we're in the middle of signing an agreement, but we're partnering with other companies that we're going to be sharing their webinar recordings and getting them transcribed and putting them through our whole process. And our club members are going to get access to them. And some of these are like, $150 to $200 webinars. And they're going to allow us to share it with our club members at no charge.
Such an awesome value. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that one.
I know. I just was talking with them this week. I haven't even processed everything. So, and there's 2 of them that, one's a definite. The other one we're still talking about it. So I think this is just the beginning of many opportunities for people that maybe have 1 or 2 webinars, but they don't really market them big time, and now they can do it in partnership with CCO. So if you're an individual that does have a webinar like that you've recorded that you think our customer base would be interested in, reach out to us, helpdesk@cco.us, and we'd be happy to talk to you. And you're going to have discounts and priority consideration for your topics. Everything that we do is driven by someone requesting us to talk about it. So when we vet those topic requests, those that are club customers or students go to the top of the list. The public, and I was just chatting with someone, I think it was on Facebook, and they said, I'm one of your free groupies, but I am going to become a paid groupie now. I'm joining the club. And so I thought that was cute, so that even our free groupies can ask questions. They just don't get the top priority, but once they become a club member, they do. So that's the overview, so you can tell it's a lot of info. And so what we did is we just took each of those bullets and we gave you more detailed information like what I just shared with you. And then down where all the green check marks are, like in columns, a lot of stuff, see? Here we go. So these are the different plans. We have the Essentials Monthly, which is $29.70 a month. There is a $25 setup fee for that. So if you join the club, the idea is that you're committing to continue with it. The idea is that we don't want you to stop. You can cancel at any time, but if you stop for 3 months and come back, you'd have to pay that $25 fee again. Then we've got the annual plan, which is really a good value because it's $297. In essence, you save 2 months free, plus you don't have to pay the setup fee. Then if you want to upgrade from the Essentials plan to the professional level, we've got the monthly plan and the annual plan for that as well. And this first frequently asked question area lets you know what's included in the essentials package with Find a Code and then what's included in the professional. So most people that are actively coding on the job, risk adjustment coders, those types of folks are using, choosing the professional package because they want these extra bells and whistles. Okay, so that's the club and what's included. I wanted to show you a little bit what it looks like inside.
We've got a URL from, I can go to my page, so I streamed to my page and then shared the link over on our page. So
okay, great, thank you, Boyd. So there are questions on Facebook we should be fielding or no?
There should be now, yeah, because it's.
Okay, great. So Lori, what you can do is right-click on the tab and you can mute the tab.
I'm trying. I don't know why it's even going. I didn't click it. It just started playing.
That's okay. I keep
It's a live event.
Do you see the live one on Facebook?
I pinned it to the top too, so it should be there.
Okay, I guess we're both trying to do the same thing.
And I'll put it in your podios as well.
All right, let me pull that up. All right, so I'm going to show you our CCO club. And this is the Podio workspace or Podio platform that we use. And Podio is a lot like Facebook. It's a platform that people come together and collaborate. CCO doesn't own Facebook, CCO doesn't own Podio, but we have private groups on both Facebook and Podio. And it's these private groups where we deliver the club content, where we do the student support hubs. So when you come in, this is what it looks like. Podio doesn't let us change too much of what it looks like, but on the left-hand side, you'll always have the comment stream. And on the right-hand side, these are more shortcuts. They're called tiles. And that helps you jump around the different areas of the club. I don't know how this got down here. There we go. And then these are all the different people that are in the club, and you can search on certain terms to see if we've discussed something on it. So if I put in diabetes, I can see that we've got all these different topics and threads and conversations about that particular diagnosis. So that's a really powerful search. It's very, very good. And you can search not only the club workspace, but you can search the club and the student support hubs that you happen to be a part of. We call this in the upper left-hand corner the hamburger menu. Apparently that is the official IT term for those three lines because they're supposed to look like a hamburger, I guess. The buns and the meat in the middle, I don't know.
Oh, that's an official?
Yeah, that's what Jesus said.
Wow.
That's not just, that wasn't me coming up with yet another food analogy. But so here's all our list of student support hubs. Now, of course, because I'm the owner of the company, I have access to every single workspace that we use in CCO. But you would probably have maybe half a dozen if you were a club member and a student. But this is how you can jump around between the different hubs and club. So the one that you can also join is the free forum. Anybody, even our free groupies, can join this. We've got over 500 people already, and we literally just launched it a couple months ago. So you can get used to the platform to see what you think of it before you join the club. That's another option. But you can see here we were talking about critical care codes today, you know, free forum questions, the Did You Know with Chandra we were letting people know about. So that's our free forum. So check that out. And I'm going to go back to the club. I'm going to type in my little shortcut. And basically, you can have conversations here, but up here is where the forum is. It's where you ask questions and get answers from us. If you want to check out the replay, like of events like this Q&A webinar, you would come in here. And for example, here is the 2017 CPT update that Chandra did. You'll have a little bit of description. This is what we call the Podio item view. What venue type, these are all the different choices that we have. This one happens to be the update webinar. We like to chunk it up if we can into smaller consumable portions. So we've got a part 1, 2, and 3. It was a 3-hour webinar. And they play just like YouTube videos. You can fast forward, rewind, pause, and you can use these buttons here to make it go full screen, so you don't have to squint. And then below it, we normally have the presenter. Here's the CEU quiz. What is the value of the CEU? When does it expire? Are there handouts? Is there a transcription? You just click on it. This is also mobile friendly. That's why these links look like this. We used to have real pretty graphical ones, but it didn't work well for mobile. So we really try and design for mobile. The videos will play on mobile if you use the Chrome app. And you go to podio.com and log into your account, and it plays fine. We have people doing it on their iPhones, their iPads, their Android devices, etc. So that works really well. And then you can have comments over on the right, and then we can reply back and interact with each other. This was a funny one because Regina said thank you, and sometimes when people use what are these called, emojis?
Emojis. We
don't actually see the image. Sometimes it comes over as the word, and I think, what did she say it was? Face punch. I was like, face punch like 6 times. She's like, what did I do? Why do you want to punch me in the face? But that was pretty funny. All right, so that was our overview of the club. We would love for you to join it. What you're watching now is a courtesy webinar so that you can, again, see what we're all about, what our style's like, but we ultimately would like for you to join us in the club or become a student. And if you do become a student, a full course student, you get access to the club for the duration of your course. If it's a 9-month course, you get 9 months in the club. And then we hope that you'll love it so much you want to continue. And that's pretty much how we're designing everything. All right, so let's go back to the topics that came in since the last time we did this. And let's talk about getting back into coding after an absence. And this question came in and they asked, I've been out of the coding field for a while. I've kept my CEUs going, but I've not physically coded for over 2 years. I've been raising my kids and my daughter is going to kindergarten, so I was wondering what is the best way to start edging my way back into the field. Coding changes all the time and I feel lost as to where to start. So I'm assuming the person that wrote this has maintained their credential. They didn't lose it. So there's a couple things you could do. You could do a review blitz with us or do the CPT and ICD-10 update to get up to speed with the changes that happened in the last year. I think the CPC review blitz is really good because it basically goes through the CPT book from cover to cover almost. And we do a brief overview of ICD-10. We do have the ICD-10 blitz as well. And those two together, the CPC and ICD-10 blitz, that really gives you an overview of all the key coding concepts that affect any credential and type of coding. I don't know, can you think of any other advice, Lori, that...
Practice exams.
Practice exams?
Always good. To get you updated and practicing and getting back into the groove.
Mm-hmm. And AAPC does have Practicode, which they purchased from Avia Code this past summer, and that is real cases that the Avia Code folks would have their coders do, and they redacted it, of course, and you can compare your code answers to, I don't know if they're the original coders' answers or if the AAPC has changed them, but they do have a little bit of a rationale. So that's another option, and you can pick, I believe, what specialty you want. So that's another way to kind of practice and get back into the swing of things. Other things you could do is maybe do an internship. That's becoming very popular. We just started our own internship program. I talked to a couple people today about it where they've done someone else's internship program. Now they want to do ours. I said, okay, you're becoming an internship junkie. Let's get you a job. But you could do something like that. Consider doing an intern just to kind of get in touch. Join the club, because in the club we're talking about real life coding stuff that is happening on the job. So that's my advice for getting back into coding after an absence. Just jump in, get into discussions, monitor, where people are talking about coding that's really affecting them on the job. This next question, Lori, I think you helped a lot with as far as putting the questions in. 80-hour equivalent courses and CEUs, and these are the two related questions. What exactly counts for A removal and why? And then why don't the CCO blitzes count for A removal? Because I'm spending a lot of hours watching these videos, I think it should count for A removal. So did you want to share what you learned today, Lori?
Well, after talking to the APC today, Rachel and Wendy were very helpful in explaining that an 80-hour equivalent means a full course, all done at once. It can't be broken up, which is what this blitz is. It's just a review. It's not a full course. And it's for CEUs. CEU courses don't count towards the 80-hour equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they explained it to me today.
And the idea is with the full course, you are really immersing yourself in the subject. I know our Blitz customers immerse themselves. I'm not saying that they don't, but there's textbook reading, there's homework assignments that you have to hand in. With the Blitzes, it's really a high-level review of the topics. There isn't homework. There isn't exercises that you're doing. We might have review questions, but they're not geared the way courses are. So that's the difference. Now, what exactly counts for A removal? I have a link here to the AAPC website, and what I can do is grab this and, well, it's aapc.com/apprentice/applied-experience. And it'll bring you to this page here. Say goodbye to your A. So, AAPC is a business. They've got Practicode, so they're going to be promoting that, but that's not the only way. I mean, I tell everybody, and I really believe this, don't worry about the A. It bothers us more than it does a prospective employer. Because why are we getting credentialed in the first place? To help us get better jobs or get new jobs, and for our own self, to prove to ourselves that we know our stuff. The A can be ascertained by reading a resume. A prospective employer can read a resume and know if you have experience or not. They don't need the A to tell them that. So I tell people, don't worry about it. And some prospective employers, there's so many credentials out there, they don't know that it's even a negative thing. I mean, there was CPC-H, which meant hospital. There was CPC-I, that means instructor. Then CPC-A, okay, so that's supposed to be less than, but I and H is more than. They're not, some prospective employers are really in the know on all the credentials, but a lot of them aren't. They just want to know that you're certified, and they're looking for CPC. So if they say CPC-A, now if they ask you, then you tell them what it means. But you don't have to broadcast it and make it, in big letters, apprentice, on your resume. But so this is right from the AAPC website. A lot of times, on Facebook groups, in our group, oops, not right now. Don't turn me off. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Don't show again. They ask a lot of questions that are already on the site. So I want to show you a trick. This is how I found this exact page. Now I could go clicking around and looking at the menu items. I think it should be here, but I show this trick a lot on our webinars, and it's something I learned in designing the web pages and stuff for the websites I've done over the years. Is you come to Google, or if it's built into your URL bar like mine. Type whatever word you want. So I'm going to put A, removal. Then you type the word site, S-I-T-E, like website, and then colon, and whatever website you want it to search, aapc.com, cco.us, cms.gov, you get the idea. You do not use the www, just put the name. And so I have aapc.com. Oops.
This was actually your first advice to me, was learning how to search Google.
There you
It was the
go.
best advice you ever gave me.
I'm telling you, it saves
Now I'm a
you.
whiz.
Be your own consultant. Find your own answer. So all I wrote was a removal site, aapc.com. I know it's got to be on the site somewhere. So I hit enter, and it basically, very first page is what I wanted. And then, oh, there's discussion on their discussion board about it. There's something in the employment forum. So more than the official article, there's many other things. This is how we do a lot of our research to answer your questions that you give us, okay? So now let's see what happens if I switch this to cco.us. I don't know what it's going to bring up. Let's see. Foreign body removals. It's not quite what we were looking for. Obviously that's not going to be on CMS, but you can see how you can keep the same phrase. So the key is you have a space between whatever your search phrase is and the word site, colon, and the website. There is no space after the word site and colon. It's all together, okay? So that's very cool. We use this all the time to find our own information on our own site. Like I said, I know we answered that. I know I have something on Mohs. Like, so I'll come here and I'll type in Mohs, M-O-H-S, site, cco.us, boom, 76 hits on our website alone, okay? So here's where we discussed it in our forum, Q&A, you get the idea. Now I can switch it to aapc.com, and we can see information on that as well. So, you know, obviously select the site you're using, make sure it's an authoritative site, but that's a great way, you know, to do research. So that's how I found the page for the apprentice removal for the AAPC. So this is what they're saying. To remove your apprentice designation via on-the-job experience, you must obtain and submit 2 letters of recommendation verifying at least 2 years of on-the-job experience. And they do accept externships, or, you know, where you're basically an intern, using the 3 coding manual code sets. 1 letter must be on letterhead from your employer. The other may be from a coworker. Experience includes time coding for a previous employer and prior certification. Both letters are required to be signed and need to outline your coding experience and amount of time in that capacity. So, and they have this removal template that you can check out. And it's just basically a form letter that they're helping you, you know, print it out, fill in the information, or just copy and paste it and put it on your own letterhead document, whatever, and that's all they need. They're not trying to make it super hard for you. Now, if you don't have the 2 years of work experience, you can, it says submit proof showing completion of at least 80 contact hours of a coding preparation course, and that's what Lori was referring to. Not blitz reviews, not review classes, not CEU classes, but a full course. That's what this is talking about. We give our students, when they graduate, a letter of completion so that they can use it for this purpose. And how do you get that letter of completion? You need to successfully finish each module and get at least a 70% on the exams, every single one. So, you know, we have some people say, well, I just want to take the second half of the course. Well, that's fine, but we can't give you a certificate of completion. So if you really need that for whatever purpose, then you need to do all of the modules. Now you can test out of some, like we've got nurses taking our course, and so for medical terminology, they'll just take the test, and if they get over a 70, then they can move on. So that's allowed. Anyone can take the exam. You don't have to have the experience first. A lot of people have that misunderstanding. They think when they first read and they're brand new looking into coding and they read about the test, because I get these 20-minute consultations that I do all the time. They're like, but I don't have the experience, so I can't take the test. I'm like, you don't need experience to take the test. They'll just give you an A on the end. Not an A as in passing, but A as an apprentice. And, that's it. And you wait till you either do the 2 years of work or you take the letter from us for your course, and that's 1 year, and you need to work just 1 year instead of 2. And now, of course, they have got Practicode, which they will accept and let that waive, I think, 1 of your years. Yeah. So there's lots of different ways, but the bottom line for me is, I said, let your A fall off naturally. Just work and it'll come off. If you're looking for a job and it's hard for you to get a job, focus on places where they are considering newly certified people, like risk adjustment right now. They do tend to consider the newly certified. It's not impossible. I see it on the discussion boards, our discussion board, the AAPC Facebook group. There are people getting jobs. So they are out there, and there are employers that will work with you. A lot of it, too, is how your resume and cover letters and your attitude, and how you sound when you talk. I find some people have like almost an entitlement attitude. I finished the course, the world should want me now. It doesn't work like that in any field. I don't care if it's hairdressing or whatever you go for. That first job is always hard to get. But you can get it. You just have to keep trying.
Networking at your local AAPC meetings. Mm-hmm. They offer jobs. You show them that you know your stuff. They may consider you.
Yep, definitely. Okay, so the third question, do I need a course or a coding certification? And then a side question, or a related one, I should say, is a medical coding program through a school a requirement to sit for the certification exam? No, it's not. Anybody coming off the street could take the AAPC exam. It's not recommended. You probably won't pass.
Definitely not recommended.
Yeah. And I can see where this comes from, like AHIMA. They do require for some of their programs, RHIT, RHIA, that you do graduate from an accredited program and one that's approved by them. I had something similar. I'm an occupational therapist, actually. That's what I thought I was going to be when I grew up. And I went to a 4-year program. I sat for a board exam to become an OT. And the OT board had to approve my school's program. If they didn't, I wouldn't have been able to sit for the board exam. So there are many medical professions that do require that. But this one with the AAPC does not. And AHIMA does not, I don't think, require it for like the CCSP and some of the other credentials. So that's why I think it's such a great field for newbies to get into. You do not need to pay $20,000 for a program. That's crazy.
Right.
If you really want to have a bachelor's degree, that's fine. Then go ahead. But if you're only after learning the art and skill of being a coder or a biller or a practice manager, then just take what you need to accomplish that goal. Because a lot of everything else you're gonna learn on the job. It's just gonna come. And stay plugged in. Stay plugged into networks that talk about coding and billing that are affecting their jobs, because that's how you learn. You go, oh, I didn't think of that one. And then you see how someone responds. Oh, well, we had that same problem with Medicare, and we realized we had to do this, and oh, okay. And you learn from each other. Back in the day when I ran my rehab practice, this is how old I am, guys. I was before, remember the squawky dial-up? That's when I was running my therapy practice. There was no internet groups for me to go plug into to help run a therapy practice. We had to figure it out all on our own. Nowadays, we have all of this at our fingertips, which is also a whole nother problem that it's causing, and that's distractions, shiny object syndrome.
I knew you were going to say that.
Jennifer,
shiny
are you out there?
He probably is.
So at any rate, no, you do not need a course or a coding certification. We do recommend a course. Ours, hopefully, if you have joined another school, then we ask that you consider our review blitz to dovetail with your school program, because there's so much high-level, really great information geared toward what you need for the exam. A lot of people that do that say, yeah, I didn't get that when I heard it in class, or they're attending live face-to-face classes and the class is over and they want to review. They don't have anything to review. Well, the blitz is perfect. So now they want to review the digestive system lecture, they can listen to ours, and it just helps reinforce their other program. So that's the answer to that one. And then the last question that we were going to answer was about CRC for new coders. This actually came up as a chat question in our last webinar. And the person wanted to know, it says, it sounds to me like the CRC is the way to go, but is it really meant for coders with experience? I know the CPC is an initial credential to go for, and I know there are many opinions about the best credentials to have, but what is the practical choice for someone who is totally new? So, for a long time, before I really fully understood risk adjustment, and I'm not saying I fully understand it yet, but I'm actually studying. I'm going to take it in March. You only need to know ICD-10 really well. You need to know the guidelines for ICD-10 really well. Risk adjustment coding only uses that manual. They do not code for procedures. They do not code HCPCS. They are looking for chronic conditions for that individual, and they're normally doing it over a span of time instead of one visit. So and the span of time is normally either 6 months, a whole year. I was talking to someone today who's working for someone, and she said she coded 2 years worth for this patient who was in the doctor's office every 3 days. So imagine how many visits that was. Unfortunately, she only got paid a couple bucks per chart, so that's not good. Hopefully, that's 1 in a million that are that many pages. But a lot of the risk adjustment companies do pay per chart, so it's really good for new coders because the pressure's off to produce so much. If you're slower in the beginning, you can ramp up, And a lot of these risk adjustment companies, when they hire newly certified people, they put you through an additional training to learn how to do it their way, so to speak. So I've changed my opinion and my advice. On my 20-minute consultation calls, I would always say, yep, CPC first, got to get the CPC, that's your core credential, then as a secondary, consider risk adjustment. Well, now I'm telling people, especially people that are really on a budget, you only have to buy one manual. The course is shorter, and you sit for the CRC exam first. There's no prerequisite for CPC exam takers to do the CPC first. So I think it's a great one for newbies to do. But I would encourage them to have the intention of getting the CPC and learning CPT as well. But this can get them in the door in a job the quickest route, in my opinion. So that's our current advice on that. And Chandra had said that for a while, and I kept going, really? Oh, no, I think I'd want him to have the CPC. But now that I've seen it and see that I'm hearing about these jobs out there, and I'm confirming that people are getting jobs and they're newly certified. So I think that's very exciting.
Jobs are out there.
Yep. Anything you wanted to add on any of these questions?
I do think AAPC scares a lot of people with their, you must have a associate's degree. They put that on almost all of the credentials. We recommend you have an associate's degree.
They recommend.
Yes, it's a recommend, but a lot of people are like, oh, do I have to have that or don't I have to have that? No,
you don't. And,
right.
Sometimes we have to read it literally. It's a recommendation.
Right.
It's not a requirement. So, and we're here to tell you, many of our students, I would probably say 80+%, don't have an advanced degree. Now, would it help you? Would it make your resume go to the top of the list compared to other coders if you do? Yeah, of course. But not always. Not always. I mean, look at our Chandra. She doesn't, and she's got a gazillion million credentials, and she's uber smart on all of this stuff. So anybody would be fortunate to hire her. So it just you got to go with what works for you. If that is important to you and that means a lot to you, then go ahead and do that. I know I used to teach for Drexel University in Philadelphia, face-to-face class, and I worked with the director there, and they developed with these courses that I put together, the medical terminology, the billing course, the coding course. We had a whole bunch, and we made it into an associate's degree, and that was the first associate's degree that was offered in the country. So that was pretty exciting. And they're still doing it, and it's going great. So there are schools now that are offering degrees with it, but it's not a requirement for sitting for a certification exam. And I have been schooled by a YouTube commenter that for years I called it board exam, board exam, board exam. It's not a board exam. It's a certification exam. When I took my OT board exam, that was a board exam, and it has to do with licensure, and there is a difference. So these are certification exams, and they're also national certification exams. They're not state license exams. Now, that being said, there is one state in the whole country that requires coders to be certified. Technically, people can do medical coding now. They do not have to be certified. But most employers require certification. And if they've hired someone and trained them and turned them into a coder, but they're not certified, they normally end up requesting that they get their certification. And that one state is, Lori?
Is it Hawaii?
Yes, Hawaii. Yes.
It is. Yes.
Yeah, so Hawaii is the only state where you have to be certified in order to do coding. And the way I understand it is because licensure, state licensure, has to do with protecting consumers. So when I was an occupational therapist, I had to be licensed in New Jersey, and if I wanted to work in Pennsylvania, I had to be licensed in Pennsylvania, because we can do harm to a patient. We could break their arm, we could be doing range of motion wrong, but as coders, can we do harm to the consumer? My opinion is, yeah, we can. Yeah. Because I've had it happen to me. I had complicated migraines, and a coder, the doctor was trying to rule out MS, and so he wrote migraine versus MS. Well, the coder coded me as having multiple sclerosis, and I didn't have it. And when I tried to get life insurance or whatever, I kept getting denied or whatever was going on. I'm like, what is going on? And when I looked at it, I'm like, I don't have MS. So did that coder harm me? Yeah. But not in breaking my arm, but you can do harm by not coding properly. Picture someone getting a diagnosis of AIDS if they don't have it.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. That's one you have to be really careful with.
So we'll see if that catches on. I mean, it's been a long time. I've been doing this since 2000 and, heard, it's coming, and I really thought it was going to be like right around the corner. Now I'm kind of realizing with healthcare, things don't happen that fast. But ICD-10 did eventually come. It only took 17 years of me hearing that it was coming, but at any rate. So
now they're talking about 11.
Yeah. So what's going on at CCO? So we talked about the club already and how it's growing. And if you want to check it out, go to cco.us/club. And the basic level is included in all of our full course purchases. So that's a new benefit, $300 value, definitely worth it. We're having a lot of fun with our club. Chapter support, Lori, I'll let you talk about this because you are also the manager of these two programs.
I am. Remote presentations. If we give those free to local chapters, all you have to do is fill out the form at cco.us under, I think it's under Contact Us.
Yep.
You just scroll down and it'll have you fill out a form. And
here's
you pick your topic. We have different topics that you can choose from, 2017 CPT updates, or what is the other one, the ICD-10 updates.
Mhm.
HCC coding, all kinds of things. So great.
And so
Who
when
you
you fill
use
this
for the
form out,
chapter?
it goes to Lori, and she helps find a presenter and get it all coordinated. So there's no charge for this. It's our way of giving back and also getting our name out there. So if you are a chapter officer or you want to ask your chapter officer, just have them come here and fill out the form. It's really quite an easy process now. We've got it down pat. And what we do is we have these topics. These are ones that we've done over and over. We have them recorded. We give you a download just in case, because we have had power outages or things happen, so you could at least play the recording. But we're there in the beginning and end to intro it and to answer questions. So that's the remote presentations.
We have even recently had Chandra show up live to present.
And Alicia too.
Alicia
Your area.
too, yeah.
Yeah, if it's within driving distance, we'll absolutely go live. I mean, that's preferred. But the whole reason this was started was I started the Southern Jersey chapter. It's no longer going, unfortunately, because we could not get volunteers to be officers. And it was like, I felt like it was a Laureen show every month, and I didn't want it to be about me presenting all the time and try to get other to do it. So at any rate, I knew how hard it was to get speakers, to get doctors to speak, anybody. It was really, really hard. So we did this to help other chapters that were experiencing the same thing. So, and it works really well. And I still see people at conference now. They'll say, "Oh yeah, you did our chapter presentation." Then we ask you to take selfies of you and your group, and we'll put them up. But it's been pretty good. And we have a lot of love from Georgia. I think we got 3 different chapters from Georgia that are always dueling to have us on certain dates. So, and then
That's
the door
because I own a
prizes.
Georgia group on Facebook.
Yeah,
And I promote there.
there you go. That could be why. And then we've got door prizes, and basically, you know, mostly what we do is all online. Our courses, our blitzes, our webinars. We don't really have a physical book or a product to really give you. So what we do is we have door prizes where you can choose a blitz or some sort of CEU class, and we give you a certificate that you could hand out to the winner. And then the winner contacts us through our help desk and claims their certificate. So it's a pretty simple process. And what we do is we just verify that you're an officer. So we go to the AAPC website and we verify that you're an officer and your email address there. So, because otherwise everybody and their brother would be saying, "Hey, I'm a chapter officer, give me a free blitz," you know. So that's our process for the chapter support. If you have a chapter, let your officer know.
Good thing to have for May Mania.
Yeah, well, I
It's
think
only a few months away.
I think we already have 3 booked for May. I'm like, there's no more room.
I know. That's when we get hit hardest, is
Yes.
in May.
Don't forget to join the Insider Group email list and the new CCO free forum, which I just showed you where that is, and then cco.us/insider. That's our email newsletter. That's when we let you know of specials, when we're releasing a new product, that sort of thing. For Facebook Live notifications, you can go to cco.us/fblive, and you can request text messaging or email updates to let you know, hey, it's happening. And that happens to me sometimes, like, oh yeah, Chandra's on. And that'll remind me to go on Facebook and watch her and support her there. So that's kind of cool. Because unfortunately, Facebook doesn't really have a way for us to keep it all together and invite you. Not yet. They probably will soon. As far
I
as
do invite people to the events,
you
but
can,
they're only my only friends.
right.
Only my
So
own friends.
it's not like they
That's why
can
I make
register for it and then be reminded.
No.
No.
No, they can only sign up for the live notifications, so they know that we're going live.
Right. And then these are just some things that are going on as far as newly released and coming soon. So just basically check us out on our website, and if you go to our website, up on the top, free monthly Q&A webinar, secure your seat, just click on that. We do that the second to last Thursday of every month. And I was not there last month because I was on vacation. That was last Thursday. But they're very, very popular. We get quite a large audience, between 500. I think our max one time we almost hit 1,000. So and we get a good
1,000.
mix.
We hit 1,000 once.
We did hit 1,000 once. Okay.
Yeah, it was for a special webinar. I think it was an ICD-10 or
Yeah.
one of those timely kind of ones.
So and we do it no matter how big the size. We still sound the same. We kibitz with each other. That's why I'd like to have someone with me, because I don't like being alone. But we have a lot of fun. But we do share a lot of content, and people seem to really like it. They like that style, and I tell people all the time to if you're looking for prim and proper and super uber like professional buttoned up collar type, that's not us. If you want neighbor next door teaching you how to code, that's us. More.
And people you can reach.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes you're taking a course and you can't reach anyone. We are easily reached.
Well, especially when you get plugged in on Podio, where
That's right.
we're admittedly not phone people. We are email and Podio people. That's the best way to reach us. If you get in Podio, you got our attention. The little messages come up, and we all race to try and get them answered because we want to keep it going. There was one more thing I wanted to share, and that was about our internship program that we've just launched. We currently have 3 interns, just added a 4th one today. I have literally interviewed, I think, 12 people this week alone, and I've got 4 more tomorrow. And that was all from us mentioning it, I believe, in Facebook Live, in the webinar, and maybe one other, in the newsletter. That was it. So, and I'm getting a lot of people asking, well, what's the internship like? So basically, the internship with CCO, if you come to, and I should make an info page. Now that
I made a little FAQ.
Oh, did you? Oops.
Gave Debbie's description of what an intern does, and so that's available now, so they can kind of see what they're up against if they apply.
Uh-oh. What'd I do?
You broke it.
I know. I broke the internet. Uh-oh.
Hmm.
Maybe our site's down. Of course, while we're doing this live, right?
Well, let me check and see if I can access it.
Yeah, it's down. Something's going on. So at any rate, our internship program is a commitment of 250 hours. We're recommending a minimum of 10 hours a week. And the type of projects are, you're actually going to be looking up codes and stuff, but from a different perspective. You're not going to have a case to code. You're going to be listening to our webinars and coming up with scenarios and questions for it, basically so that we can help our club members get those CEUs. So after years of being asked, is there anything I can do for CCO? Please, I just want to do something with you guys. I don't want to be paid. I just want experience. So now we have a program to be able to do that. So if you want to be considered for an intern, go to our site, and in the Contact Us, it's job application, but you can choose intern, and that will kick off a whole process. I'll send you some information. We'll set up an appointment, and we'll work you through the steps. We're trying to limit it to 10 at a time, because any more than that, then I won't be able to give people the proper attention. And we really want you to learn and get something out of it as much as we're hoping to get some help. And there's some other side benefits too, but I don't want to share because I don't want people to become an intern just for what they can get. So view it as experience for, you're working for experience is basically what it is. And I'm your mentor, and Debbie Jones is helping me with that program. And a little bit of Ruth and Chandra jumping in, but I'm trying to protect their time. But it's mostly me and Debbie that you'd be interfacing with, and our project managers that move things along. So, any other news to share, Mari, that you can think of?
I think we've covered it all.
All right. Well, that is another successful CCO Live with Laureen. Thank you for joining us. And if you are a club customer, you will see our replay up in a couple of days. So thanks, everyone. Thanks, Boyd.
You're welcome.
Bye.
You guys.